Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl Explained. Welcome to my in-depth explanation of the film Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. Warning, heavy spoilers ahead, so if you haven't already watched this film, I highly recommend watching it before watching this video for two reasons. A, this video explains the film. B, the film is great. To begin with, we see a large ship emerge from the shadows, shrouded by fog. This ship is revealed to be the HMS Dauntless, the pride of the British Royal Navy. It is on a trip from England all the way to see the British settlement of Port Royal. The Dauntless travels through the Caribbean Sea, and we see Elizabeth Swann stood at the front, while staring out to the sea. She starts to sing a sea shanty. We are then introduced to the sailor, Gibbs, who warned Elizabeth about the cursed pirates. Then, Davenport interrupts and claims that it was unwise to sing about pirates in the artificial fog. The Dauntless comes across a wreck of a merchant ship, which Gibbs says is down to pirate attack. Before this, Elizabeth spots a survivor on his own. This is Will Turner, who is lying unconscious on a piece of driftwood. He is brought aboard the Dauntless, and Will wakes up briefly, and him and Elizabeth introduce themselves to each other. He then drifts back to being unconscious again. After this, Elizabeth peculiarly notices a gold medallion on his neck, which suggests that Will is a pirate, as it has a skull emblem. In fear that Norrington, a friend of Elizabeth's dad, the governor, will have Will hung, Elizabeth seizes the medallion while he is still unconscious, just before he is taken below deck. Elizabeth then stands at the front of the Dauntless again, looking at the medallion, and catches something moving in the very corner of her eye. Looking upwards, she sees a tall ship with black sails, moving stealthily, as it was cloaked in the fog. The mast of this ship has a flag with the same emblem as the medallion, and the ship moved back into the fog. Elizabeth stared at it again, realizing that it was definitely a pirate ship. She is scared by this, so she then shuts her eyes. Back to the story. We once again see Elizabeth 8 years after the events of the first scene, as she wakes from her dream. She still has the medallion, which is hidden in a special compartment within a chest in her drawers. She puts it on, and her father, Governor Swann, knocks on the door, which catches her off guard. He has a gift for Elizabeth, which is a dress from London, which he wants her to wear for Captain Norrington's promotion ceremony. She agrees to wear it, but finds it uncomfortable. The governor is visited by Will Turner, who has made a sword for the soon-to-be Commodore. A strange man is approaching Port Royal on board a sinking dory. This ends up being Jack Sparrow. He wants a new ship, and after bribing the harbour master, he goes to the docks. Then the Norrington's promotion ceremony gets underway, and Sparrow is accosted by two marines, Mulroy and Murtaugh. He entertains them with the mention of the Black Pearl, a ghost ship of legend. These two then begin to argue with each other about if it's a real ship or not, which gives Jack time to sneak off and try to commandeer the ship. Commodore Norrington offers Elizabeth a proposition after his new status makes him realize that he isn't married. He views Elizabeth as a fine woman. Elizabeth faints and falls into the sea, but due to the tightness of the dress, which was hinted at earlier, rather than the shock of Norrington's impeding proposal, Jack dives into the sea and rescues her, and her medallion emanates a weird shockwave, which gets sent across the waters. Jack immediately gets hooked on the medallion. But before he can find out more, Norrington arrives, with two marines to arrest him. Jack then holds Elizabeth hostage and manages to buy himself just enough time to escape the port. As he is escaping, he meets Will Turner inside of the blacksmith shop, and the two of them engage in a sword fight. Jack gets knocked out by Will's employer, who was previously sleeping through the fight. Jack is then arrested by Royal Navy officers who have just broken into the blacksmith shop. After this, the next scene starts with Port Royal being besieged by the previously introduced Black Pearl, with a blood-hungry crew. It is found that the shockwave created by the medallion lured the Black Pearl to them. The crew take Elizabeth back to the ship, as she has the medallion which they want. She invokes the rule of parley, which enables a discussion between her and the crew, and also ensures she isn't hurt. She goes to the captain, Barbossa, and asks him to stop the attack on the Port Royal, which was established in the previous scene, in exchange for the medallion. Barbossa agrees, but also captures Elizabeth, as he is not technically breaching the agreement, due to him not hurting her. Elizabeth is forced to dine with him while wearing a red dress. She is told that if she doesn't, she has to dine with the crew while being naked. She decides to opt for Barbossa. Will tries to persuade Norrington to save Elizabeth passionately, but he declines, so Will joins up with Jack to save her instead. The two of them steal a ship, which is the Interceptor, the fastest ship in the Navy. They gather a crew and pursue Barbossa, who is heading to the Isles de la Muda. Now we learn Barbossa's plans. This island contains a cursed Aztec treasure that the crew of the Black Pearl uncovered. They mistakenly believe the apparent curse to be a lie and steal the treasure regardless. Bill Turner, Will's father, protested and sent one of the cursed pieces of gold away to Will to make sure that the crew were punished for their betrayal and misjudgment. As a result of this, Barbossa throws him overboard while being strapped to a cannonball, and eventually the crew realizes that he was right and the curse is real. To get rid of the curse, they needed to return all of the gold and the blood sacrifice from everyone who took the gold originally. The crew suffered the curse and became undead, forced to never perish or sleep. 10 years have passed and they almost have all of that. They just need the Medallion. And Elizabeth, as due to her surname, they believe that she is the daughter of Bill Turner. In a treasure-filled cave, Barbossa draws blood from Elizabeth and soaks it onto the last coin, before dropping it in a black chest, thinking that the curse would be lifted. Barbossa shoots a crew member to test if it has worked, and the crew member is fine, which means it failed. He knocked out Elizabeth due to intense anger. Will knocks out Jack as he thinks he will betray him, and then he rescues Elizabeth along with the Medallion. They board the Interceptor. On board the Interceptor, Elizabeth gives Will back the Medallion, and after realizing the pirates want his blood, he storms off. Meanwhile, Jack tries to negotiate with Barbossa aboard the Black Pearl. The Pearl pursues the Interceptor, and the Interceptor prepares for an imminent battle. They battle each other, and it doesn't take long for the Pearl to win and claim back the Medallion. Jack and the others are imprisoned on the Pearl, and Will tells Barbossa that he is the one required, and that if the crew is freed, he will give him his blood. Barbossa agrees but decides to dump Elizabeth and Jack on a random island with no way off. Will is taken to Isla de la Muta, where Barbossa wants to kill him, therefore breaking the curse. The two of them spend time on the island, burn a cachet of rum to create a signal, and are rescued by Norrington. Elizabeth tries to convince him to help rescue Will, but he says no, until she offers to marry him in return. They arrive at the cursed island and Jack tells Norrington to keep his crew ready to ambush, while Jack lures Barbossa and his crew into firing range. The crew board the Dauntless, Norrington's ship, and manage to evade the ambush by walking along the ocean floor, due to being undead. Both crews engage in hand-to-hand combat, and Jack steals the coin, and now he is also temporarily cursed and can't be killed. Jack and Will distract Barbossa long enough to draw their blood and uncurse themselves, and they both drop their gold into the chest, lifting the curse. Jack uses his last bullet to shoot Barbossa, which, now the curse is lifted, kills him. Barbossa's crew surrender due to fear. The crew arrive at the port, and it's revealed that Norrington has to hang Jack due to law. Will rescues him, believing that he doesn't deserve this morbid fate. Elizabeth then rejects Norrington's marriage and decides to declare her feelings for Will instead. Jack escapes but falls into the sea accidentally, and is rescued by his previously assembled crew, led by Briggs. They board the Black Pearl and Norrington is impressed with Jack, so decides to give him a day head start of pursuit.